few nights ago, Channel 4's Dispatches series added a deeply moving programme from which every Labour movement activist should watch and share in Labour Party and trade union meetings. This programme provides a harrowing account of the Israeli military assault on Gaza at an early stage in the conflict. In this documentary, a group of Palestinian reporters and cameramen interview families, children, medics, and emergency staff about their experiences during the intense bombardment by the Israeli Defense Force, otherwise known as the IDF. The bombardment of Gaza is the most intense anywhere in the world in this century. Officially, it's a response to the killing of over 1,000 Israelis by Hamas and the taking of over 250 hostages. But the collective punishment inflicted on the people of Gaza eclipses the events of October the 7th by a huge margin. Some scenes in the documentary are heart-wrenching, especially since many victims are children. Dispatches reported that by the time the programme was made, over 35,000 people have been killed, with an estimated 10,000 unaccounted for, buried beneath the rubble. Of those killed, 14,000 are children, and this number continues to grow as the Israeli military launches more attacks in southern Gaza around the city of Rafah, where many refugees have moved. Many Palestinians believe that the Israelis' aim is to drive them out of Gaza and into the Sinai Desert. The United Nations has described Gaza as a graveyard for children. Israeli leaders claim the war is about dismantling Hamas. But in the views of Left Horizons, this conflict cannot be solved by military means. It would only increase hatred towards the Israeli state among Palestinians and Arabs across the Middle East. One of the events featured in the programme is the attack at the Al-Shifa hospital. Hundreds have fled there from the bombing. The IDF claimed Hamas was using the hospital as a shield, citing underground bunkers and tunnels. A British-based consultant who treated many of the wounded at the hospital later reported what he considered war crimes to the Metropolitan Police War Crimes Unit. He was even banned from travelling by the German authorities, though this was later lifted after a judicial review. The doctor made it clear he opposed terrorism on all sides. He was there simply to treat the injured. The Dispatches programme also notes the severe restrictions imposed by the Israeli military on food, fuel, water, and electricity in Gaza. The IDF claims humanitarian aid is stolen by Hamas, but this is often a deflection from their role in the man-made humanitarian crisis. The people of Gaza are increasingly threatened by malnutrition and disease. The IDF even restricts access to medical attention. One seriously injured man was held unnecessarily at an Israeli checkpoint and subsequently died. The IDF, as usual, claims they have no information about this incident. A Dispatches reporter interviewed a child whose family was killed by the bombing of their home. Despite claims that they don't target civilians, the IDF's assault on Gaza has resulted in the deaths of many non-affiliated individuals and traumatized countless children. Around 70,000 have suffered life-changing injuries, such as the loss of limbs or severe burns. Even one of the filming team was reported killed after a bombing raid. Ambulances too have been targeted by the IDF. Calls for a ceasefire have fallen on deaf ears. In the West, it seems only the political class opposes it. Tens of millions of ordinary workers and youth are appalled by the killings and outraged by the continued political support for Israel. It's time to halt military supplies to the Israeli regime, as the killing of Palestinian civilians is a war crime. If Putin is considered a war criminal, then Israeli leaders should be treated the same way. The Tories may shed crocodile tears about limiting the loss of life, but they back the Israeli government's so-called right to self-defense. Sadly, the Labour leadership has been no different from the Tories. What we should fight for in the Labour Party is a ceasefire. And if international law means anything, a commitment to ending all military supplies and imposing sanctions on the Israeli regime. Labour should advance socialist ideas that offer a way out of the endless nightmare of conflict that surrounds the state. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're more than happy to take criticism for your comments, though do please keep it civil. Subscribe to our newsletter at www.lefthorizons.com, and we'll see you next time.